Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and early 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, yesterday I made a video. I had it all set to go. And then I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about the anniversary or not. And I started watching the videos on TV. And it all came back to me. I'll talk more about that in a second. So I made a video about how I felt watching those videos again, watching all that unfold again. And then I saw Joe Biden's speech. Biden took the gloves off. God bless him. This is the Biden we've been waiting to see. Democrats, all of America, this is the Biden we've been waiting to see. Took the gloves off. So I put aside both the videos. The first video I made yesterday, the second video I made, and I'm making this video. Okay. I think human beings, we tend to forget how bad things were. I think it's just a natural part of our brain that kind of smooths over when terrible things happen. Like I broke my leg skiing when I was younger. And I'm sure I have a memory in my head of what it was like. But I'm sure it's nothing like the actual pain and fear and terror that I felt that day. When we look back at video, when we think back to 2001 September, we kind of picture in our head. But when we see videos from that day, man, it's like reliving it all over again. We're like, holy cow, I can't believe that happened. It's just the shock. That's what I felt when I watched those videos again yesterday. The level of violence. I mean, we know in our head, we see snippets, we see pictures here and there. We hear about the arrests. We hear about the committee, that's looking for the truth and all that. But when you see those videos clear, and then I saw a video of the news media, two African-American guys, talking about what happened that day. I saw a new video yesterday of those Trump supporters just demolishing cameras and piles of news media equipment, cameras, tripods. I had never seen that before. And I heard these two African-American gentlemen talking about how they were terrified, how this group of Trump supporters came after the entire, they were describing how the media was set apart. Like usual, they have a media area. Now, you go back to Vietnam and wars, and this stuff doesn't even happen during wars. You'll see a news photographer get clipped by a bullet here and there accidentally, but usually the media is off limits. They are there to describe what's going on. And both sides need that, a record of what happened. These Trump supporters didn't want that. They didn't want the truth out there. There were videos yesterday. That was probably one of the most, I don't know what was the most appalling. Watching all these videos again. Using American flags as spears. The fire extinguishers, the bear spray. These Capitol Police being caught in the doors and pummeled. Okay. Enough about that. Joe Biden. Oh man, this is the speech we've been waiting for. Joe Biden took the freaking gloves off. Talked about Trump's bruised ego, how he sat there and did nothing. Biden described there's a picture, I guess, of Trump during the afternoon for hours. He sat, I don't know, I forgot which room in the White House, watching TV, and there's pictures of him just sitting there watching it unfold after he unleashed it. Looking back, if anything, it is so crystal clear. One of the worst days in American history. The gallows. Biden brought this up. The gallows for Pence. Biden talked about his bruised ego, and he said how Trump cares more about himself than he does for the country. I'm going to have all the clips down below. You guys, if you ever watch any of my clips, watch these. This is the best Biden speech I have ever seen in my life. This is the Joe Biden I've been waiting for. I think everybody's been waiting for. God bless him. All right, let me talk about a couple other things. Stephen Colbert. I'll talk about Stephen Colbert after. Let me talk about Ron DeSantis first. Ron DeSantis comes on and he has a reaction. He says he didn't watch any of the stuff on the lying news media because they were all re-showing it. He says this is their Christmas, the news media. They're going to have a field day re-showing this. Like, this is just all about the news media using this. And then I see this African-American man, one of Ron DeSantis' people, in the background kind of smirking with his head down. And, it just made me so angry. Then DeSantis goes on and says, this is all just about the lying media making, this wasn't that big a deal. And then Green and what's that other one there? Marjorie Taylor Greene were talking about how they were going to recommemorate the peaceful walk that the Trump supporters took that day. And, oh, man. So Ron DeSantis goes on to talk about how he didn't watch any of this. And I have a feeling, how I just spoke about how all those emotions came back, how the reality of that day came back yesterday. I have a feeling that a lot of Trump supporters, probably all Trump supporters, did not want to see the reality again. I bet you a lot of them never even watched TV yesterday. I didn't see Fox News, but I'm willing to bet Fox News and the other Trump channels didn't show the reality of what happened that day. So DeSantis goes on. And this comparison, I can't even believe. He goes on to talk about, remember when, I didn't even research this. I remember when the Republicans were playing a baseball game. And some Bernie Sanders fan, some mentally unstable individual, which America has plenty of, rolled up and he attacked some of the Republican baseball players. I gotta be careful how I word this. So that one day, I'm not sure if there was actually a death that day. I know a couple Republicans were hurt. He compares that. He says that day the news media just played that for a couple days. Where was the news media then? So he compares this Republican baseball game where one screw loose guy comes and opens up on the Republicans, and he compares that to one of the most disgusting, embarrassing days in American history. It's unbelievable, the comparison. All right, now Stephen Colbert. I got the clips down below for this. Stephen Colbert, but I gotta admit, I don't usually watch him, but the show, he did the best going over retake of the whole Biden speech. I'll have clips from the Biden speech from Twitter, and I'll have Colbert's piece. He goes over it all, great jokes. One of the best things that Biden says that he's not just a former president, he's a defeated former president. Bam! Trump doesn't like can't be called a loser. Never be seen as a loser. And Biden calls him not just a former president, a defeated former president. God bless Biden. All right, so there's so much more. You can see how emotional, how this got me riled. All right, so Trump responded with the usual claptrap about Afghanistan, about COVID, and you know what? I'm not even gonna respond to any of that. And Trump says that Biden used his name. And then, so on Colbert's piece, Colbert says, no, you Nimrod. He never used your name once. Biden never used Trump's name once during that entire speech. Just called him the former president. Didn't put that name in his mouth. And then Colbert's piece, he replays every time Biden says, former president, the former president, the former president. And then the last one goes, the defeated former president. Beautiful. Beautiful. And let me add something to that. Not just a former president, the defeated former president, not just a loser, but an effing loser. Have a great Friday.